Here we have some well-rotted horse manure, which we're going to bucket up. And use for propagating more. Blackcurrant bushes. Right, that should do us today. Let's go and show you how we're going to do it. So here is my blackcurrant bush patch, and it sits in amongst these trees. But as it's a woodland plant, it seems to do okay in here, and the fruit ripens and the birds don't spot it quite so much as any that I've had out in the open. Right. A couple of different methods of propagating blackcurrants. These are getting quite long and stalky because they haven't been cut back for a long time, been pruned, which they really should have been. So what I've done is I've taken a long piece like this and I've bent it over and pushed it into the ground and covered the stalk with earth. And if I remove some of this earth now, you can see it's starting to develop little roots. So this will become its own plant, and I can cut the stem off where it goes into the plant down here once the roots here have got really established. So perhaps next spring I can check to see what the root system's like in here, cut this here, and then I've got a whole new aged blackcurrant bush. These are not brand new, these are the same age, these are clones, the same age as the original, so they should fruit straight away. If the branch that you bend over doesn't want to stay in the ground, which it might stay there for a minute and then jump back up again, there's lots of different things you can do, but the easiest one is just to put something heavy on, a stone, a brick, a pot filled with water, anything like that, and that'll hold it down whilst it takes root, and the new blackcurrant bush becomes its own entity. Now, the next way of producing more is that all of these fruit bushes like to root readily. So what you can do is just take the soil, compost, horse muck, whatever you happen to have, put it around the base of the fruit tree. The fruit bush, and that'll encourage all of these stems to subdivide into more plants, and it also gives the bush a nice feed. So that's method 2. The third method is propagating cuttings. So for that one, we'll cut some of these growths, this year's growth, and a little short piece of the previous growth, which is more woody than this year's green growth, but not as woody as the previous hardwood cuttings. And so we cut this off here. This is the third method I'm going to show you. Okay, the third method, cuttings. Now these are the cuttings that I took from the plants, from the bushes, and I've just had them in a jar overnight. You don't need to do that, it's just because I ran out of time from filming yesterday. But this is how I'll show you now how to turn those cuttings into new bushes. This is a cutting I took last year and did exactly the same as this. In fact, this was an accident. I didn't mean to trim the bush, but the little piece that was cut off I did this method with, and this year it's a new bush. So I'm going to do several of them this year, so I'll walk you through the stages. The first thing you do is you take the cuttings from the softwood rather than the hardwood. So when a plant grows, it grows with the green first, that's the newest, and then it's got this light brown, which is the year before, and then the year before that, this one obviously doesn't have it because it's not that old, is a dark brown. So these cuttings you want to take from the lighter brown sections, not any of the dark brown. That's a hardwood cutting, and we'll do those in the winter, but for now we're going to use a softwood cutting, so not the green bit but the first light brown bit. And then all I do there is just take off some of the leaves, in this case it's probably okay as it is, and just put that straight in the water to allow the bottom part of this up to about here to sit in the water, and then you just leave it in any water for about 3 weeks and you'll see little white roots appear. Once those roots are sort of an inch or so long, then you can plant it in some soil, some potting compost, and wait until the next year, making sure it doesn't dry out, and the following year you get these. This one then, I'm going to make it a multi-stem by taking it out of this pot and repotting it, so I'll do that next. That's how you make softwood cuttings from blackcurrant bushes. So my one blackcurrant bush is still there, but it's going to become several blackcurrant bushes. You see these leaves are very close to the bottom on this one. So what I want to do there is remove those which would end up in the water. And you'll see then there's a little leaf trying to come out of there, but in the other nodules it will probably come out as roots. And then we just put that in the water up to that point and let it grow.